Hi, second grade. Here's week 2's art project. Let's go down to the board so you can see. Today's challenge is unusual. You are not allowed to draw anything with your pencil that you did not trace. That means everything that we draw on our piece of paper has to be traced. If you're here at Lankerville, we are going to use some stencils. And these are all plastic, so I can wash them very easily between classes. If you're at home, your challenge is going to be finding items that you can trace to get the shapes that you're looking for. I've got a CD, I've got a lid, and some other items like a Post-it note and the box of crayons. These are going to help me draw all the shapes that I want to draw. What are you going to draw? Well, we're going to draw a person. And the only thing I can do is trace the shapes that I have. So you're going to need to try and make a person that does not necessarily look like a person like you're thinking of. Please remember the rule of the challenge. You cannot draw it if you cannot trace it. So let's just say that this is going to be the body of my person. It's easy to make a round head, but you don't need a round head. You can think about all kinds of shapes. Maybe I can use a clothespin to trace 4 legs. Tracing can be a little tricky, so what you need to do is instead of holding your pencil the way you would normally write, I would like you to think about holding it straight up and down and a little bit farther back from the edge. When you trace an item, hold it very steady and hold your pencil straight up and down so that you're only going around the outer edge. It's tricky if you try to write with a pencil because you're going to tilt it, and sometimes you can get your pencil underneath the item. You don't want to get underneath the item. You want to go straight up and down. For this project, we're not going to worry so much about doing a background. We're just going to focus on making a person. What if I only have small shapes? What if I want to trace my arms using my eraser? But I decide it's too short. Well, there's no saying you can't trace the item twice. Did you know that there were a couple of artists who did an entire group of artwork with nothing but shapes? Pablo Picasso and George Braque were 2 very famous artists who made artwork called Cubism, where they used lots of different shapes and lots of different designs to make people. Some of them looked a little silly, but that's okay. I think my person looks pretty good. Let's add some decorations. I'm going to use the edge of my Post-it note to give me a striped shirt. Please use your creativity and make this person very unique. But don't forget the challenge. Only items that you can trace. What kind of fun items can you find at home? When you're finished with your project, it's time to color. There are some coloring rule challenges also. Make sure that your colors don't touch each other. So if you color one section, the section beside it has to change color. If I'm making this lovely checkerboard in the background for my shirt, then I have to make my checkerboard 2 different colors, at least 2 different colors. I cannot color the entire thing red. I should have different colors in each section. So red, blue, blue, red, blue. If this square is red, then this square has to be a different color. That one would change to blue. Use your patterns, or don't make patterns. Make it completely random. I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, as you can see, I have colored my project and I made sure that none of the colors touched each other. So I have got everything all filled in. Now it's time to work on the background. What kind of things are you going to do to the background? Well, we are going to try and do something called overlapping. So here is the trick. You're going to take whatever it is that you're tracing, and this is a lovely CD, and I'm going to lay it right on top of my project. Pretend that all of this colored area is an electric fence. And your pencil is not allowed to cross the electric fence. So the only place that I can draw is on the outside where the background is. Remember, gang, the background is the back of the project, the stuff that's behind the project, not the actual back of the paper. This is the back of the paper. This is the background. Now that I've got my CD in place, I'm actually going to trace in here in the center. See this little clear part right here? I'm going to trace that right there. Now when I pick up that CD, you're going to see it looks like it's hiding behind my person. Let's do that again. This time my CD becomes something, the thing I've already traced becomes something that I cannot cross over either. So let's lay it down one more time. We're going to trace only in the background areas. Oh, skip up over his legs. And when I come around to that next pencil line, I'm going to stop. And now I have another circle. Let's show you with something smaller. You have a quarter. Quarters or dimes work great for this project. I don't have a quarter right now, but I do have this lovely circle stencil. I am only going to trace on the background, so the line goes to one pencil line to the other. And now I go from one pencil line to the other, and it looks like I have a pile of quarters hiding out on my project. I would like you to fill in the background and give this overlapping technique a try. It makes your project have a little bit more depth. It makes it a little more interesting to look at when things are overlapping and not just laying separately all by themselves. We don't want to look like stickers. We want to make it look like there's something going on back there. When you are finished drawing your background, of course, you are going to color it again. So I've colored in all of the shapes that I drew, and at this point you may decide that maybe I need a couple more shapes. Or if you don't want to draw any more shapes, now you can consider coloring the background area. Still, we have more background areas showing. Maybe that can all be one solid color to make all the shapes stand out a little bit. Let's see what that looks like.